They say there's a place in Texas where the lights never came back on. A shopping mall shut down for years, swallowed by dust and silence. But one thing inside still moves. An escalator. The only thing in that entire building that still hums, still breathes electricity, even though the power was cut a decade ago. And when you step on it, it takes you somewhere you were never meant to go. It started on TikTok, of course. A guy named Chris and his friends were exploring the old Cedar Grove Mall near Fort Worth. Broken glass, peeling posters, empty food court, you know, the usual urban explorer stuff. Until they heard it. That faint whirring sound, like a motor that refuses to die. When they turned the corner, there it was, the escalator, still running, still moving, like it was waiting. Chris laughed at first, filming it, said something like, "Bro, this is creepy but cool. It's still working somehow." Then he stepped on. You can see it in the video. The first few seconds are normal. He's laughing, walking slowly upward, saying it feels endless. His friend yells from below, "Yo, how far up does it go?" Chris turns, smiles, and behind him, the mall is gone. Just black. Not dark like shadows, black like nothing. He keeps going. The steps beneath his feet keep moving, but the air gets heavy. His flashlight flickers, and the escalator hum deepens into something like a heartbeat. In the comments, someone wrote, "You can hear whispering at 312. And when you replay that part, you can. Something says, "Keep climbing." After about 20 minutes, the camera tilts. He's sweating, breathing fast. He says, "It's weird. I can't see the top anymore. I don't even remember stepping on it." Then he stops, looks ahead. Wait, I see something. There's a door. His light catches metal. Yes, a door, hanging in the void. He steps closer. It opens by itself. And for a split second, you see what's behind it. Another escalator. But this one's going down. That's where the video cuts off. Chris's account was deleted a day later, and when someone tried to revisit the mall, the escalator was gone. Just a hole where it used to be. But if you put your ear close enough to the railings, you can still hear the hum, waiting. They call it the Endless Escalator. Once you step on, it remembers your wait, and it waits for you to come back. I wasn't planning to go there. I tell stories, I don't live them. But after Chris vanished, something started happening online. Every few weeks, a new video would appear. No username, no description, just a black screen and the sound of an escalator running. Sometimes, if you listened closely, you could hear a voice whisper my name. So one night, I drove to Cedar Grove. The mall was supposed to be condemned. Fences, warning signs, no trespassing. But the padlock on the side door, it was already open. Inside, the air felt heavy, not just dusty, heavy, like the building was breathing around me. Every step echoed too long. My flashlight kept flickering. And then I heard it. That soft, mechanical hum. The same sound from the videos. It was coming from beneath my feet. I followed it through the empty food court, past the cracked floor tiles, until I saw the escalator. But now, it went down. The first thing I noticed when I stepped on was the warmth. The railings were warm, like something had just touched them. The hum grew deeper, steady, rhythmic, almost human. And as I descended, the mall lights began to fade behind me. There was no bottom in sight, just the sound of the moving steps and something breathing below. I checked my phone camera. It was already glitching, showing static instead of my face. Then the whispers started. At first, they sounded like echoes of my own thoughts, but then they began forming words. "You've been here before." I froze. "We've been waiting." After what felt like hours, the escalator slowed. In front of me, a door. The same one from Chris's video. Only this time, it wasn't metal. It looked like a mirror. And in the reflection, I saw myself. But not the version standing there. The reflection was older, tired, pale. And behind that reflection stood Chris. He whispered something I couldn't hear. Then my reflection turned its head toward me and smiled. I reached out to touch the door, and the surface rippled. The escalator behind me started moving again, dragging me forward. As I fell through, everything went dark. When I opened my eyes, I was standing at the top of the escalator. Same mall, same broken lights. Only the down escalator was gone again. Now it went up. I looked at my phone, recording 19 minutes, but the clock showed 3 days had passed. And on my video, I could see myself from below, filming upward, and my voice saying, "Wait, I see a door, but it leads down." I left the mall that night, but something followed me home. When I close my eyes, I hear the hum again. Sometimes it sounds distant. Sometimes it's right beneath the floor. And when I open my camera, there's always static for a second before it clears, and I see an escalator behind me, still moving, still waiting. They say the endless escalator doesn't take you to heaven or hell. It takes you somewhere in between, where time loops and reflections remember what you've forgotten. If you ever find it, don't step on, because once it starts moving, it never stops. They say the endless escalator.